So, just what the heck is Bitcoin? And why does it matter anyway? Well, in this video, I will tell you exactly that. Many people are out there just chasing after Bitcoin for the quick riches, but the reality of what Bitcoin is and why it matters goes far beyond just speculating on the number going up. It has a number of massively important use cases and unique features that are driving interest in Bitcoin from big and small investors alike. And in case you are new around here, my name is Lark, and I am sharing all of the hottest and all of the latest here happening in the cryptocurrency markets every single day of the week. So make sure to subscribe for more great videos if you do like this one. Now, let's go ahead and hop into the topic. Let's start off with the big picture. What is Bitcoin? Well, quite simply, Bitcoin is digital money. It also happens to be the world's best and most secure form of digital money. It exists completely online. It is a currency which is not issued by any government. It acts as a truly peer-to-peer form of money. Bitcoin is massively decentralized and therefore can also not be shut down by any government, since it is a global distributed network of computers that are securing the network every single second. Bitcoin is also permissionless, meaning that it is available to anyone, anywhere. Bitcoin does not require you to have a government-issued ID to use the network. It doesn't care about borders, so it can go anywhere in the world at any time. It also doesn't care about politics, race, religion, banks, sanctions, capital controls, any of that stuff. It just Bitcoins. Meaning that if you can access the internet, then you can use Bitcoin. Considering all the walls in traditional finance, this is a massive step forward in what we understand to be money. Bitcoin has often been referred to as having a Swiss bank in your pocket. That's how powerful it is. Bitcoin is the first true form of money for the internet age. Bitcoin is, of course, also the premier cryptocurrency, and it also served as the start of a digital financial revolution that has actually branched out into experimentation with literally thousands of other cryptocurrencies, fulfilling a whole range of different use cases, all, of course, using a technology called blockchain, which quite simply is a form of a digital ledger that contains small little blocks of data, each with a timestamp and a link to the previous block. Thus, of course, forming a virtual chain of little blocks of data, all with reference to the previous ones. Now, the next question you probably have is, does Bitcoin actually have value, Lark? Yes, of course it does. Money at its core, what is it? It is a belief system. Why does that piece of paper in your pocket have any value? It's literally just a piece of paper with a number written on it. Think about that for a second. But you and I both agree on the belief that this has value. Just like the people on the island of Yap agreed that stone circles had value, and why ancient cultures all agreed that gold had value, and why we still assign value to gold today, because we all believe it is worth something. We believe on and agree that those things have value and that they are worth holding onto. And a lot of people, they agree that Bitcoin has value. They believe in it. In fact, the market believes so much in Bitcoin that it is currently worth around $10,000. And look, Bitcoin has come a long way since it was launched back in 2009. And in fact, now some of the world's most famous investors, people like Paul Tudor Jones, for example, now see Bitcoin as a store of value and as a safe haven asset, much like they do with gold. Bitcoin can also be used and is used by some people as a medium of exchange, so you can buy and sell and send value with it. That's very easy to do. The one area where Bitcoin has not actually taken off, though, is as a unit of account, so things aren't priced in Bitcoin, at least not really outside of a few very small online marketplaces. But Neither is gold, and it has a $9 trillion market cap, so you don't walk around and see things priced in gold, but we all understand that it has value. Bitcoin functioning as a store of value and as a hedge against inflationary forces by central banks is perhaps the key value proposition, since Bitcoin has a fixed supply. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. It's hard-coded into the software. No one's going to change that. I'm going to talk more about some of those reasons in a few minutes, but real quick, I think the question that we have to talk about next is, how does Bitcoin work? Well, Bitcoin is a publicly verifiable, decentralized network for transferring value. Because it is decentralized, it means that there is no governing body or corporation behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin is simply open source code maintained by the open source developer community and run by a globally distributed network of very high-powered computers. So when you want to send Bitcoin from one person to another person anywhere in the world at any time, all of the computers in this network will work together to process that transaction and to agree on the trueness of that transaction to ensure that no one is cheating in the network. Every transaction in Bitcoin is recorded in the network forever. In fact, it is possible to track every single Bitcoin transaction that has ever happened from the first one to the last one. It is all publicly available information. But don't worry, your name is not linked to your Bitcoin account, or your Bitcoin address as it is called. It's just a code that looks like this. People can they can see how much Bitcoin is sitting in your address, but they don't know who owns it. Bitcoin is created by people who run super powerful computers. These people are known as miners. So when you want to send Bitcoin to a friend or perhaps to an online merchant, you're going to need the help of these miners to do that. These are the guys running the global network of Bitcoin. Every 10 minutes, a digital block of data showing who sent Bitcoin and who received Bitcoin is created and logged into the network. There's a lot of competition to be the miner to create this digital block, because every block has a set reward of newly created Bitcoin, currently set at a rate of 6.25 Bitcoin per block, a number which is cut in half every 4 years. So when a miner creates a block, they're going to receive 6.25 Bitcoin, which is the reward, plus the fees paid by anyone who wants to send or receive Bitcoin. In the early years, it was 50 Bitcoin per block. And even once upon a time, Bitcoin mining was possible with a home computer. But now, Bitcoin mining is done in factories filled with specialized computers, and it is a highly competitive game played by big money players. Now here's an analogy for you, maybe to give you a better idea of how all this works. So imagine that Bitcoin is like a bank, where all of the bank vaults are transparent. Now it doesn't cost you anything to have an account, and anybody can have an account at this bank. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is access the internet, and you can have your own personal but transparent vault at that bank. But you and only you can open your transparent vault. The bank employees cannot open it for you. The only time you have to pay the bank employees for keeping your money in your vault, who of course are the miners in our analogy here, is when you want to deposit Bitcoin into your account or to take Bitcoin back out of your account. Now, in order for that to happen, they're going to charge you a small fee for moving the funds between your vault and another vault, and of course for recording that movement into the record book. You can make a transaction whenever you want, but you have to understand that the accountants at the bank, they only write about one page approximately every 10 minutes into the record book. So if you make a transaction now, it may not be written down for a few minutes. It might be 4 or 5 minutes before your transaction is actually written into that page. And if the accountant is really busy because lots of other people are standing there wanting to make transactions, then you may even have to wait a few hours before the accountant gets to your request. But of course, you can always pay a little bit of an extra bribe on top of your normal fee to get the accountant to move you to the front of the line. Also, to make sure that any one single accountant is not cheating, all of the accountants, and there are thousands of them, keep a copy of the entire Bitcoin ledger. So if one accountant tries to cheat, then the others are going to look at that and say, no, 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 that doesn't match my copy of the record book. There is also a very, very big and very strong competition among all of these accountants for the privilege of being the one to write the first copy of the page in the book due to the big rewards that are paid out. So every page, therefore, requires that these accountants solve a very complicated riddle. And the first accountant to solve the riddle gets to write down the details of all the transactions of that page of the ledger, and of course gets to keep the prize money of 6.25 Bitcoin for solving the riddle, plus any fees that people are paying to move Bitcoin from one vault to another. Now, after 11 years of Bitcoin being alive, the puzzles are so difficult to solve that entire buildings of accountants are all working together to try to solve each of these riddles before the other buildings, which are also packed with loads of accountants, solve it before them and claim the reward. This process continues day and night, 24/7, 365 days a year, about every 10 minutes. Anyway, I just want to make it really, really clear to you. You do not need to mine Bitcoin to be able to own or use Bitcoin. In fact, you don't even really need to understand at a technical level how Bitcoin works. Just in the same way that you don't know necessarily the details of how your phone or how your computer work, but you still use them successfully. Just having an overview of kind of how it all is working out, it's not a bad idea to understand the basics. But I hope that analogy did give you some of the idea of that process and what it looks like. So, why does Bitcoin matter? Well, here are a few simple reasons for you. All fiat currency like the dollar, the euro, the yen, the pound, over a long enough time period, they are going to zero. Zimbabwe and Venezuela, there are great examples of complete economic catastrophe for a paper money. But dozens of other countries, they're also facing bad situations because of their central banks and of the funny money being printed out without any regard for its actual value. Central banks, they can print as much money as they desire whenever they desire to do it, meaning that inflation has become a normal feature of fiat currency and you have no control over that. You're simply a victim of what the central banks are doing. For example, the dollar has lost half of its value in my lifetime thanks to the constant money printing by the Federal Reserve. But Bitcoin has definitive hard-coded scarcity. No one can inflate the supply of Bitcoin, unlike with the dollar. Big money investors, they want an inflation hedge. Gold, of course, is the established asset that they have been going to for a very long time. But Bitcoin is the new digital gold that is taking a lot of interest from investors as they're looking for it to be a hedge and, of course, for great gains. And in many ways, Bitcoin is actually superior to gold in that the supply is verifiable, scarcity is absolutely certain, and it is easily divisible. In fact, Bitcoin can be divided by up to 8 decimal points, which is another important point. You don't need to buy one Bitcoin, you can buy just a little fraction of it. And Bitcoin is as easy to send as email. All you need is the public address of the person that you want to send Bitcoin to, and that's it. It is as easy as sending an email to send money over the internet. But for investors, probably the biggest difference between Bitcoin and gold is that gold has a $9 trillion market cap and that Bitcoin is only around $200 billion, making it very, very undervalued by comparison. Bitcoin is also censorship resistant, so international sanctions, frozen bank accounts, being cut off from the financial system for one reason or another, maybe a politically sensitive money transfer, all that stuff, Bitcoin doesn't care about that stuff. It's totally agnostic towards your reasons for sending money and who you're sending it to. Bitcoin won't stop you, and it can't stop you. Bitcoin is also unconfiscatable, so your money in your bank, that's not really your money. It's the bank's money now. You just hope that they're going to let you have access to it at some point in the future. That's the truth. Whereas Bitcoin in your wallet, it is true. truly yours. No one can take it from you without your private key. So that means that things like negative interest rates, they're not going to drain your wealth away. Your Bitcoin balance will always be the same. In a world where just this year, we have seen central banks around the world print trillions upon trillions of dollars, take on insane debt, push just a ton of policies that threaten the stability of the entire global economy. We have Bitcoin. We have Bitcoin, guys. It rises above all of that craziness. And when you understand it, it's a very, very good thing. Look, this video is just a short overview of what Bitcoin is. I hope it helped you to understand a bit better Bitcoin and why it's useful, why it matters. But the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper, guys. So if you want some more information, start digging. There's a lot of great resources out there online that'll help you deepen your understanding of Bitcoin. And then, of course, all of the rest of the cryptocurrencies and all the stuff that they're trying to do. It's pretty crazy. But even having a basic understanding of what Bitcoin is, why it matters, it'll help you out at your next cocktail party and someone, hey, Bob, you know about that Bitcoin thing? Yeah, I know about that Bitcoin thing. Anyway, did I miss any of the key points? Is there anything that you think people should know about Bitcoin that I didn't cover in this video? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.